If we would like to delineate a contiguous block of controller memory containing elements of the same data type, we need to create an array. Within the Studio 5000 Logix Designer application, we can create arrays with up to 3 dimensions. To create an array, we may use any of the normal procedures for creating a tag or program parameter. In this first example, let's right-click the controller tags and select New Tag. Of course, depending upon the desired scope, we could just as easily right-click a program's program parameters and local tags. Within the New Tag dialog that opens, we need to provide a name for the tag array, just as we would for any tag. Then we can select the desired data type. In this case, we can click the Data Type ellipsis button. Now we select the desired data type from the browser. This data type will be applied to all elements of the array. At this point, if we clicked the OK button, we would be creating a regular tag rather than an array. However, if we increase the dimensional values located below the data type browser, we create an array of the specified dimension. For example, let's create a 3-dimensional array with a value of 3 in each of the dimensions. Clicking the OK button, we see that the data type is configured as desired. Of course, knowing this format, we could also simply type the data type and dimensions directly into the box, rather than using the data type browser. Now we can configure the remaining tag parameters as necessary for the given application. In this example, we will maintain the default configuration and click the Create button. Opening the controller tags, we see that our array has been created. Notice that the dimensions are indicated with the first dimension on the right, the second in the middle, and the third on the left. We can also create an array directly from within a logic editor by right-clicking the entered tag name. Then we fill in the new tag dialog as in the previous example. Finally, if we access the Edit Tags tab of a tag table, we can go to the last line and create our array just as we would with any other tag or program parameter. Switching to the Monitor Tags tab, we can expand our array and enter values into the various elements. As with our first example, the dimensions are zero-based, delimited using commas, and they are listed left to right in descending order. So, when we need to write data to or read data from an element of our array, we specify that element within our logic using this format. This format applies regardless of which of the 4 programming languages we choose. Let's return to our logic and take a look at writing to an element of an array. In this example, we have entered a constant. As such, we do not expect to change the particular element using logic. That is, the logic will always reference this 0 element, unless we change the constant from within the Logix Designer application. So, downloading to the controller and placing it into the remote run mode, we see that, when the condition goes true, the data is written to the specified element. Now, to change the element, we must re-download to the controller for the change to take effect. If, however, we need to use logic to select an element from the array, we enter the name of the tag that will serve as the index. Now the value written to the indexing tag specifies the referenced element of the array. Downloading to the controller and placing it into the remote run mode, we see that we are able to programmatically alter the array member referenced within the instruction. So we can index through an array, writing to its elements in turn. This is an extremely common logical requirement and, as seen here, readily accomplished using the Logix Designer application. However, we must use caution when indexing through an array in this manner. If we attempt to write to or read from an array element that does not exist, the controller will fault and the process will stop. Therefore, we must ensure that the value specified within the square brackets is always within the range of valid array elements. In this case, the array contains elements 0 through 9. So, if we write a value outside of that range to the indexing tag, we see that the controller faults. Looking to the controller properties, the fault occurred due to an invalid array subscript.